So when you're thinking about starting a garden for the first time, some of the things you want to think about: what is it that I love to eat? Think about what you love the most. If you want to have a successful garden, you definitely want to get adapted seeds for your area, grown either for northern gardens or wherever you're located. There's nothing worse than grabbing the best tomato hybrid and it looks beautiful, but it only grows well in, Southern California weather. Guess what? This is New York. This isn't going to grow well here. You have to kind of know your soil. If you're one of those people that does not have time for seeds, you don't want to start your own, you're too busy, I totally get it. And you can pick your own plants. A lot of times, the nurseries will have a good start on the vegetables and the fruit, but you want to make sure that it is something that grows well here and make sure it's something you eat. We don't have a super huge garden. We have 8 raised bed boxes. For us, we love tomatoes, we love basil, we love beets. What else did we grow? Lettuce. We use a lot of onions, so we have some onions there. Got some onions there. I love cilantro, so I grow little patches here and there. We love strawberries. We have a nice little strawberry patch in here. It's got some shallots also inside. We companion planted shallots with strawberries. They go well together. We have some string beans, and the string beans, if you plant too many string beans, it's great because you can freeze them. They're one of the things that freeze the best. We love butternut squash, so we have some of those. We planted some pole beans. We have some rattlesnake beans. Those are new for us this year. And we love cucumbers. We love zucchini. So we have some little zucchinis growing in there. And that's a reliable, you can't really go wrong with zucchini, squash, yellow squash, green squash, any of those. Butternut squash. These are some cherry tomatoes. And we have some basil in there also. I would start with string beans. I would start with cucumbers. I would start with zucchini. I would start with tomatoes. Those are your basic. They're going to do well. And as you can see, we really stuffed this one. We have zucchinis, butternuts, pole beans. That's the best way to make use of your garden space if you don't have a lot. We have some tomatoes, a little tomato jungle back in the corner. Some nasturtium, some basil plugged in there, and even some zinnias right here that are starting to make it. This is our tomato bed. We have about 5 tomato plants, and then we have all of our herbs planted in the front. So we have some calendula, some dill, some flat leaf parsley, and more calendula toward the end. And we have some golden hyssop all along the back because that repels bugs and draws in the bees. I have to tell you a funny story. The first year I planted, none of these raised boxes were in. I just used plain old ground, and I planted 37 tomato plants. I thought I was the greatest. And guess what? I had so many tomatoes, I didn't want tomatoes anymore. And I gave them all away. The next year I planted 15. And guess what? It was still too many. This year we planted, there's 5 in the back there, and there's 3 in this bed. So 8 plants seems to give us enough variety. I like to have different types of tomatoes. So I have yellow cherry tomatoes. I have golf ball signs orange tomatoes. I have a marbled pink striped tomato. I have brandywine, which is sort of a beefsteaker. So yeah, I like variety. I like to have a few, but definitely don't need 37 plants of tomatoes, especially when there's only 4 of us. Anyway, I hope this helps when you're thinking about what you're going to grow, and we'll talk about the layout and what can be planted with what. So if you want your garden to be a little bit pretty, ours is always a mess, but we don't plant just the same thing in every box. We go and I like to have a different variety and check different things, and some things grow awesome next to other things. Some things help bring pollinators in. Some just help to repel bugs if it's susceptible to something. So we'll talk about companion planting also. Okay, until next time, good gardening.